What if everything you've been told about confidence and success is wrong? It's not about being born with it or waiting for the perfect moment. The truth is, self-esteem is something you can actively build, and it's the key to overcoming setbacks, achieving your goals, and living a truly fulfilling life. Let me show you how. Self-esteem affects every part of life, from how you see yourself to how you handle challenges. It's easy to say, don't be too hard on yourself. But actually building self-esteem can feel impossible, especially if you believe deep down that you're not good enough. To help you with this, we've gathered advice from experts like Brené Brown, Nathaniel Branden, and Mark Manson. This video will explain self-esteem, why it matters, what affects it, and finally, 5 simple tips to boost it. What is self-esteem? Self-esteem is how you view yourself and your sense of self-worth. Katty Kay and Claire Shipman define it as believing you have value. Brené Brown calls it worthiness, knowing you're good enough, even with flaws. Psychologist Scott Barry Kaufman adds that self-esteem also includes confidence in your abilities. Nathaniel Branden explains it as having 2 key parts: self-respect and self-efficacy. Self-respect means believing you deserve happiness and respect from yourself and others. Self-efficacy is trusting that you can handle challenges, learn new skills, and succeed in life. Both are essential for healthy self-esteem. When you believe in your worth and abilities, you're more likely to set boundaries, achieve goals, and recover from setbacks with confidence and strength. Why raise your self-esteem? Raising your self-esteem can change your life in big ways. It affects how you feel, act, and connect with others. How you feel healthy. Self-esteem makes you happier and more hopeful. Nathaniel Branden says it helps you recover from setbacks, like losing a job, since you believe you can bounce back. Mark Manson adds that self-esteem gives you hope, the belief that you can create a better future. Without it, people feel stuck, thinking, I'm not smart enough, or I'm not good enough, which kills hope. Brené Brown calls this feeling shame, where people believe they're unlovable, leading to fear and insecurity. How you act. People with high self-esteem take better actions. Mark Manson says emotions drive behavior, not logic. If you feel good about your chances of success, you'll work harder and more consistently. Katie Milkman explains that positive beliefs give you energy, focus, motivation, and even physical strength to keep going. Low self-esteem can lead to addiction or apathy, according to Tara Brach. People try to escape feelings of worthlessness with drugs, overwork, or complete withdrawal. How you relate to others. Healthy self-esteem allows for strong relationships. Tara Brach explains that people with low self-esteem often isolate themselves, thinking others won't accept them. Brené Brown adds that shame causes people to hide their true selves. According to Ichiro Kishimi and Fumitake Koga, people with low self-esteem also crave approval from others. This can create jealousy and competition, as they see others' success as a threat. In contrast, healthy self-esteem leads to confidence, openness, and better connections with others. Have you ever wondered why some people stay confident after setbacks while others feel defeated for weeks? We'll reveal what factors influence your self-esteem and how you can raise it. But first, let's talk about why self-esteem is so important. What factors influence your self-esteem? Where does self-esteem come from? Now that we know why it matters, let's explore the 3 key factors that shape it. Factor 1. Genetics. Katty Kay and Claire Shipman explain that part of your self-esteem is in your DNA. Certain personality traits like agreeableness, extroversion, and neuroticism are 50% genetic, and these traits influence confidence and optimism. Scientists estimate that 25 to 50% of your confidence comes from your genes. But don't worry, confidence isn't set in stone. The other 50% depends on your choices and actions, meaning you can build it over time. Factor 2. Your past actions. Nathaniel Branden says your self-esteem depends on how you view your past choices. It's a cycle. Your actions shape how you see yourself, and that self-image influences your future actions. If you consistently make choices that reflect confidence and self-respect, your self-esteem will grow. But self-esteem isn't a one-time win. It's built and rebuilt through patterns of action over time. A single mistake won't destroy it, but a pattern of negative choices can. Factor 3. The opinions of others. Experts agree that other people's opinions shape self-esteem, especially when you have low self-esteem. Scott Barry Kaufman explains that as social beings, we naturally care about our place in groups. Kristen Neff adds that people try to fit in by being likable or submissive, which can lead to constant self-comparison. Children are especially affected by their caregivers' views. Jane Burka and Lenora Ewan say neglectful parents make kids feel unworthy, while overly demanding parents teach kids they must be perfect to be loved. Society's opinions also matter. Kay and Shipman note that harmful stereotypes, like girls aren't good at math, can damage the confidence of marginalized groups. How to raise your self-esteem. Want to feel more confident, capable, and worthy? We'll walk you through 5 simple but powerful habits that can raise your self-esteem. These strategies focus on your actions, not just your beliefs, because, as Nathaniel Branden argues, real change comes from what you do. Even if these habits feel awkward at first, consistency is key. The more you practice them, the more natural they become. Tip 1. Accept your flaws. Stop trying to be perfect. Brené Brown explains that perfectionism isn't about self-improvement. It's about controlling how others see you. Perfectionism is rooted in the fear of being judged or shamed, so we hide our flaws and try to appear perfect. But this pursuit of perfection is exhausting and impossible to achieve. Tara Brach adds that imperfections are a normal part of life, not a sign that something's wrong with you. True peace comes from accepting yourself, others, and life as they are, not how you think they should be. Being fully present in each moment instead of chasing perfection allows you to experience life's beauty and pain as natural parts of the human experience. Mark Manson takes it a step further, arguing that most of us are average at most things. And that's okay. Being average doesn't mean you're a failure. In fact, accepting your averageness frees you from the constant pressure to prove your worth. When you stop chasing impossible expectations, you start valuing ordinary but meaningful moments, like spending time with loved ones or doing something you enjoy. By accepting your flaws, you eliminate unnecessary stress, stop fearing judgment, and gain the freedom to live authentically. Tip 2. Allow yourself to feel negative emotions. Stop suppressing your pain. Tara Brach warns that when we feel emotional pain, we often blame ourselves. For example, if your back hurts, you might think, I should have taken better care of myself. If a relationship fails, you might think, I must have done something wrong. This self-blame traps you in a trance of unworthiness and damages your self-esteem. Brach suggests that to break free, you must stop fighting your pain and start feeling it. When you recognize your suffering and approach it with compassion, you become more aware of the harmful patterns in your life. You notice when you're being too self-critical or trying too hard to control every outcome. With this awareness, you can release the fear of imperfection and live more freely. Kristen Neff adds that accepting negative emotions gives you space to challenge negative thoughts. When you recognize pain, you can pause, reflect, and respond thoughtfully instead of reacting emotionally. For example, if you fail at something, you might naturally think, I'm terrible at this. But if you pause and assess it mindfully, you might realize, everyone makes mistakes. I can learn from this. Seeing your suffering as part of the shared human experience also helps you feel less isolated and more connected to others. By letting yourself feel pain instead of running from it, you build resilience, self-compassion, and emotional strength. Tip 3. Don't seek validation from others. Earlier, we talked about how relying on others' opinions can control your self-esteem. Kay and Shipman emphasize that seeking external validation can be harmful to your confidence because it prevents you from acting freely, especially if you fear others won't approve. If your self-worth depends on constant praise, you're left vulnerable when the compliments stop, something that will inevitably happen. Research shows that students who rely heavily on external validation often experience more stress and are at greater risk for eating disorders and drug abuse. Ichiro Kishimi and Fumitake Koga also warn against basing your self-esteem on others' approval. They note that no matter what you do, there will always be someone who disapproves. Instead of seeking validation, they suggest that a better approach is to focus on feeling useful, not appreciated. True happiness comes from living according to your values and contributing to the well-being of others, regardless of whether others notice or approve. This mindset helps you build lasting self-esteem from within, rooted in the good you do for others rather than the praise you receive. Tip 4. Be yourself. Brené Brown adds that you can reduce the urge to compare yourself to others by celebrating your individuality. One way to do this is through creativity, whether it's painting, writing, cooking, or any other form of expression. Creative activities help you focus on your unique abilities and strengths, reminding you of what you can contribute that no one else can. This mindset shift moves you away from measuring your worth against others and toward valuing what makes you you. By letting go of the need for external validation, you can cultivate self-esteem that is grounded in your own actions and self-worth. Tip 5. Actively pursue meaningful goals. To boost your self-esteem, focus on pursuing goals that truly matter to you. Nathaniel Branden argues that confidence comes from the process of achieving goals, not just the result. When you work towards something meaningful, like winning a race, your confidence grows because you've shown yourself that you can create a plan and follow through with it, not just because you won. Kristen Neff adds that self-compassion fuels motivation, making it easier to chase meaningful goals. Being kind to yourself helps you overcome setbacks and stay motivated even when things get tough. It fosters a mindset of growth where you're focused on long-term well-being and self-improvement, which encourages healthier habits and progress toward your goals. However, Scott Barry Kaufman warns that pursuing goals that don't align with your core values can hinder growth. If your goals feel meaningless or disconnected from what you truly value, you're less likely to stay motivated. It's crucial to reflect on your strengths, interests, and values to find a purpose that excites and energizes you. If you feel unfulfilled in your current path, it's okay to reassess and make adjustments to align your goals with what matters most to you. Are you ready to take control of your self-esteem and transform your life? If you enjoy book summaries like this, like, subscribe, and watch this one.